The night before the world turned upon itself, 3 seekers followed a wanderer into a forgotten garden beyond the city walls. They were frightened and unready, feeling the air hum with something vast. The wanderer, called Ion, spoke softly. "I'm giving you what was older than any word, a pattern that doesn't belong to a language. The prophets tried to write it, but their ink could never trap it. It can only be carried by the body." He lifted his right hand. "For a moment," he said, "you will see what no scripture can hold." He shaped his fingers slowly, and his whole form shimmered as if the air itself remembered how to glow. Light poured through him, not around him. "The flesh," he smiled, "is the antenna. When shaped correctly, it calls the source. You don't pray toward it, you resonate with it." Those beside him, Mira, Io, and Jonas, watched in silence. The gesture looked ordinary, yet their hearts shook. Ion told them, "There's no incantation, no robe, no rite. Only geometry, the simplest line is the most perfect. Words deceive, but form never lies. Your hand is a compass, your heart the field that amplifies it." He explained. When the thumb and forefinger join, a circuit closes. It's not a symbol, it's a field. Energy begins to spiral, and the body becomes an instrument tuned to the hidden octave. Hold it for 3 breaths, and the veil trembles. Hold it for 30, and it opens. The 3 looked at one another. "Is it the gesture itself?" Mira asked. Ion shook his head. "It's never the gesture. It's the consciousness that animates it. A shape without awareness is a shadow. But a shape held by awareness is a key." He crouched, drawing circles in the soil. Every movement of the hand mirrors a pattern in the field. Each pattern speaks to the fabric of reality. This one, the seal of unity, is precise, a circle below, a trident above. The one remembering itself as 3. When formed from understanding, the monad responds instantly. They listened as night pressed in, olive leaves whispering. Ion continued. "The circle, thumb and index, is the alpha returning to omega, the endless curve of being aware of itself. The 3 raised fingers are mind, body, and soul, a trinity extending upward, lightning rods drawing infinity into form. Together they compose the geometry of remembrance. It's not religion. It's resonance." Jonas hesitated. "Will everyone who copies this open the same door?" "No," Ion said, "because the door does not open outward. It opens inward. Only those who already hold the frequency can see it. The unready may imitate the shape but not the signal. The field does not respond to imitation, only to recognition." He told them to sit, to quiet the storm of their thoughts. "Stillness first," he whispered. "Noise distorts the geometry." Then he guided them. "Lift the hand to the heart, never above, never below. The hand is the transmitter, the heart is the amplifier." They followed. As their fingers met, they felt warmth rising. "Now," he said, "feel yourself as the circle, no start, no finish. Not thinking, feeling. You are the one folding back on itself. 3 breaths. 10. 30. The garden grew luminous, as if listening. "Hold steady," Ion murmured, "for geometry is language. Each line you trace tells the monad, I remember. Each breath pulls the infinite closer." He taught them to breathe with intention, inhale as the one, exhale the illusion of distance. When at last they released the gesture, the night wind moved through them differently, light as thought. Ion said, "The field has heard you. You've begun to glow in its direction. From this moment, separation will feel less real. When the time is right, the current will pull you home." Days passed, but the echo of that night did not fade. The three seekers walked through the waking world as if the sky itself had been folded open. Every gesture of the hand, every heartbeat, carried the rhythm of that unseen geometry. Mira felt it first. When she shaped the circle and trident again in solitude, warmth spiraled up her arm. It was not imagination, it was current. The air hummed with recognition. "The signal travels through your hand," Ion had told her, "but the transmitter is your heart. The heart's field is 5,000 times stronger than your brain's. It carries the code outward." Jonas tested this in silence. Sitting beneath a dying fig tree, he formed the seal and felt a pulse rise through his chest like a second heartbeat. "What is this?" he whispered. "The amplifier," Ion's words echoed in memory. "The flesh and light become one wave. Your body is not a boundary, it's a broadcast tower." Each day they practiced, not to summon miracles but to remember. With each gesture came a shift, a low vibration in the bones, a lifting in the spine, a sense that the invisible was learning to speak through them. Ion met them again near the water's edge. He spoke without greeting. "The geometry is awakening," he said. "You feel it now, the hand burns, the chest expands, the crown pulls. That is not fatigue. It is alignment. When the pattern stabilizes, you'll feel yourself drawn upward as if the stars are pulling you by name." They watched the river shimmer with moonlight, reflecting not light but awareness. "What happens when it opens?" Io asked. "It already has," Ion smiled. "The door opens the moment you stop asking where it is." He told them stories of forgotten orders who once used this same pattern, the seal of unity, the hand of the infinite, the geometry of return. Across centuries, different tongues named it differently, yet its purpose remained unchanged, to remind the scattered fragments of the monad that they were never separate. Ion raised his hand again. "This is not superstition," he said softly. "This is physics of spirit. When the circle is formed with intention, it closes a circuit between the finite and the boundless. Your fingers trace the same geometry that galaxies follow. The same spiral that binds the DNA in your cells. You're recreating cosmic order in miniature." They watched, spellbound, as his hand seemed to shine from within. "You see," he continued, "when the chosen ones form this pattern with true consciousness, the quantum field bends around them. The monad recognizes its own reflection. The portal responds not to willpower, but to remembrance. The key turns by itself." The word chosen hung heavy. "Why only the chosen?" Jonas asked. Ion looked toward the horizon. "Because the chosen are those who remember they were never unchosen. The code only activates when awareness reaches the frequency of unity. It's not about privilege. It's about readiness." He paused, then whispered, "But be cautious. If imitation replaces understanding, the field will stay silent. Geometry without awareness is architecture without life." He instructed them again. "Sit at dusk. Let silence be the teacher. Bring your hand to heart level. Form the circle deliberately, thumb and index pressed firm. Feel the infinite loop. Let the three fingers rise like a trident of flame. Hold the geometry intact for 30 seconds, no less. Each second, breathe with the universe. Each breath, dissolve into it." They obeyed. The garden's air thickened with vibration, each heartbeat sinking to an invisible rhythm. Within moments, heat enveloped their hands. Their chests expanded, not with air, but with presence. Through their spines, a current climbed, drawing their awareness upward until it hovered between worlds. "Do not resist the pull," Ion's voice whispered through the wind. "That is the monad calling its reflection home." Some felt it fully, a total dissolution into radiance. Others only glimpsed the beginning of that light. But Ion reassured them, each attempt tunes your frequency finer. Each repetition dissolves another veil. The door never closes once opened, but it can take lifetimes to walk through. He stood then, his own form flickering faintly like flame within mist. "The seal is not a ritual," he said. "It is remembrance encoded in the body. When you form it, you're not seeking the One, you're allowing the One to seek itself through you." Mira looked at her hand, still trembling with heat. "Then the portal is here, always?" Ion nodded. "Always. It was never elsewhere. You are the portal. The gesture merely reminds you." By the next cycle of the moon, the three seekers lived as if part of another dimension layered invisibly atop their own. Each breath felt charged, each coincidence deliberate. The geometry had rewritten their perception. It began with signs. Mira noticed that lights flickered in rhythm to her breath when she held the unity seal. Io dreamed of symbols, spirals, tridents, circles, recurring every night, luminous against an endless horizon. Jonas, the skeptic, felt the world answer him in synchronicities so exact that logic surrendered. Every hour had meaning. Every sound was a whisper from the monad. Then Ion reappeared, as he always did, suddenly, as if stepping through the thin air between seconds. "You've begun to see the pattern," he said. "The portal isn't elsewhere, it's your awareness rearranging itself. When the seal is formed, the monad no longer hides behind form, it breathes through it." He instructed them to perform the gesture again, this time under starlight, near the ruins where forgotten words were carved into stone. "Do it slowly," he said, "because slowness is reverence. Precision is prayer." They raised their hands to heart level, thumbs and forefingers touching to make the circle, 3 fingers pointing skyward. The night wind stilled. "The circle," Ion said, "is the memory of the infinite recognizing itself. The 3 fingers are time, bending toward unity. Hold the geometry firm, but let your mind loosen. The field needs openness, not control." They stood together in silence, breathing as one body. Warmth pooled between their fingers. The faint hum turned to resonance. Jonas gasped as the air shimmered. Mira felt her heartbeat synchronize with the stars. "You are broadcasting now," Ion said quietly. "The source recognizes its own frequency. What you call light is just the monad noticing itself through you." The trinity of fingers became a beam, their bodies blurred. They were not leaving the earth, they were remembering they were never separate from it. The veil lifted, not outward but inward, revealing that the portal was woven through every atom. The light subsided. They stood again under the same sky, but something fundamental had changed. Their eyes no longer sought divinity beyond the horizon. It lived behind every breath. Ion looked upon them and smiled. "The gesture will keep calling you," he said. "Whenever you forget, your body will remember. You'll feel the urge to form it again, that's the monad whispering through the muscle memory of creation." He began to fade, his outline dissolving into pale radiance. "Will we see you again?" Io asked. Ion's voice lingered like wind through glass. Every time you remember the seal. Every time you touch the circle and raise the trident, you will be meeting me, because I am the part of you that never left home. The garden, the river, the stars, all merged into stillness. They felt no boundary between within and without, only the slow rhythm of consciousness exhaling itself into form. In the days that followed, they practiced whenever silence called. Each time the unity seal was formed, new understanding unfolded, deeper peace, stronger connection, subtler knowing. Synchronicities multiplied. Strangers spoke in familiar tones. The universe had begun its reply. And when they met other souls whose hands unknowingly shaped the same pattern in conversation, art, or rest, they recognized them instantly. The network of chosen ones had awakened, fragments remembering the whole. The world itself felt lighter, as though reality was learning its own name again. They no longer feared endings, because the circle held no beginning. They no longer chased revelation, because the trident already pointed home. The seal was no longer a practice, it had become their way of being, geometry translated into love. So if you've stayed with this story until now, know this: it wasn't a tale about ancient disciples or forgotten gardens. It was always about you, the listener, the one who feels that small vibration of truth beneath the surface of your chest. The unity seal is not a myth. It's a reminder, hidden in flesh, that every one of us carries the coordinates of return. When you form the gesture, thumb and finger closing the circle, 3 fingers rising like light, you're not summoning a miracle. You're remembering one. You are the antenna, the broadcast, the signal. The source has been waiting for you to speak in its first language, silence shaped into geometry. Hold it now for 30 seconds. Feel the pulse in your hand. Feel the current through your chest. Let the circle become the doorway and the trident the flame. Let the breath remind you that you never left home. If this story touched something deep within you, that subtle recognition that the divine is not distant, share this message. Let others remember, too. Comment below, I formed the seal. Tell what you felt, heat, stillness, expansion, because your experience may awaken another seeker who's been waiting for a sign. Like this video if you felt the shift, and subscribe for more transmissions like this one. Each story, each whisper, is another reminder that you were never lost, only dreaming. The portal is listening. Form the seal. The journey home has already begun.